Well, the NCAA has two major SEC schools in its crosshairs right now. The question is, will they actually lay the hammer down, or is this just more smoke from an organization that doesn't have any teeth anymore? Welcome in. This is OFB College Football. Let's get into what's happening with LSU, what's happening with Ole Miss, and how this could be a monumental example made of a couple of schools in this new era of college football. So the big news is the College Sports Commission, which oversees NIL deals, opened an inquiry into a couple of schools for the first time. And through some open records requests, we have the name of one of those schools. It is LSU. The College Sports Commission, if you don't remember, and I understand there's a lot flying around these days in college sports, is there to oversee NIL deals over $600 that are not a part of revenue sharing money. If you give out of the revenue sharing pot, it is not subject to any of this. If it's up and above and beyond that, which many schools are going above and beyond that, it has to be approved by the College Sports Commission through NIL Go. So they are supposed to lay the law down if your deals are not fair market value over $600. The obvious question here is, will any of this hold up in court? Some schools have held off on signing an agreement that would strip their rights of being able to sue the College Sports Commission over this. So this may be where it ultimately leads if LSU doesn't like this. But this is a big deal. We haven't seen how this will go down. We haven't seen where this is all going to lead. And LSU is a very high-profile school to choose first. If you've been following the transfer portal, your eyes certainly will perk up at hearing LSU. Sam Leavitt, their quarterback, is likely making $5 million plus. That's been the reported deal there. Jordan Seaton, the offensive tackle from Colorado, reportedly had a $2 million asking price. We had reports showing, literally saw a $3.5 million offer to Brendan Sorsby from LSU. He wound up choosing Texas Tech, of course. And then there was the Damon Williams situation where he had signed a $4 million deal with Washington and yet still entered the portal, then went back when the reporting was he was trying to go to LSU. So these are a lot of really expensive deals. What is fair market value in Baton Rouge, Louisiana? I don't know. Clearly, these deals are going above and beyond what is just being in the revenue sharing pot of money at LSU. Here's the official reporting from The Athletic. It says the College Sports Commission has started an inquiry over a potential violation of rules related to an unreported Tigers player compensation, according to a January 15th email obtained by The Athletic. Just an inquiry for now, but this is a big deal. We have not seen what will happen. How hard will they bring the hammer down? Now, there is a catch to the LSU piece. Ole Miss, there's no catch, and I'll get to that in a moment. For LSU, the catch is it's not actually for football. Okay, so The Athletic reported a person briefed on the matter said it was not related to football. So it's not football yet, but if they're getting down this road with LSU, and we saw those gaudy numbers being thrown up for the football program, and we know through other reporting from Front Office Sports, the College Sports Commission is pretty backed up. They've been behind on this. Is football yet to come for LSU? We'll see. And if they're going to bring the hammer down on other sports, then maybe it's coming eventually for football, right? Are they testing the waters with something before that? Now, LSU's may not be football related. Ole Miss's absolutely is, because Pete Golding is under fire. Ole Miss head coach Pete Golding is totally under fire. I did a video on the Dabo Swinney situation already. Now we have another school that has come with receipts accusing him of blatant tampering. The Dabo stuff was crazy. Okay. Dabo Swinney used about a 6-minute rant at his press conference to go after Pete Golding with receipts, timelines, all sorts of stuff. And it's all over Luke Farrelly, who is a linebacker from Cal. He chose Clemson over Ole Miss when he visited both. He gets on campus. He takes classes at Clemson. He signs a contract with Clemson. He rents an apartment in Clemson. He buys a car. He starts off-season workouts with Clemson. All of that stuff happens. And then he winds up back into the portal and, of course, is now at Ole Miss. And Dabo alleged that, among other things, Pete Golding texted him in an 8 a.m. class a picture of a $1 million contract with his name on it, was asking him what the buyout was via text message. He had Trinidad Chambliss call him when he was already at Clemson to try and recruit him over there. Same with Jackson Dart. So Dabo went public, was not ashamed of any of it. And now there's another school joining in on the allegation party against Pete Golding. This time it's coming from outside of the Power Four. It's Fresno State. This is according to John Canzano, who's been a longtime football reporter on the West Coast. The NCAA contacted Fresno State. So this is the NCAA contacting them. The NCAA contacted Fresno State about rumors that Ole Miss had improper contact with Fresno's leading receiver, Josiah Freeman. Canzano wrote that Fresno State has receipts And a source told him that Freeman has already provided NCAA investigators with screenshots of communications with Ole Miss. So now you've got another program with receipts, with screenshots coming after Pete Golding and the Ole Miss Rebels. Worth noting, they did not land Ole Miss, did not land Josiah Freeman. That didn't work here. He wound up staying. So now he's digging in and fighting a bit. And it seems like one person takes a stand against somebody here. Now maybe others start to come to the forefront, even though we know that tampering is going on everywhere. Apparently, Dabo Swinney and those involved at Fresno State, Matt Entz being the head coach there, feel confident enough in what they're doing to go after Ole Miss. So it raises the question, what's going to happen now? Will the NCAA do something? Will the College Sports Commission do something? Because we've been accustomed to them losing lawsuits and losing authority. Will they actually come down on either of these two high-profile SEC institutions? My honest answer is, I doubt it. If you're expecting the NCAA to suddenly become really effective and have a real strong arm to make an example of people, I just think in today's day and age, in 2026, you're going to be disappointed. Tampering is everywhere. It's a slippery slope. If you come down and make a real big example of one person here, how many coaches are you going to have to go after? I don't even know if making a huge example out of one would stop much, because the attitude, I'm sure, would still be, how are they going to come after all of us? You take your chances, right? So I do have my doubts there. College Sports Commission battle is more interesting because I do expect at one point the NCAA or the College Sports Commission to try to make an example of somebody, deem a player ineligible, which is ultimately what would happen if they say this deal is not fair market value and the school refused to take the money away or comply with it. I think then we would get a lawsuit. I think we are heading for that at a certain point. It's just not quite here yet, but this could be it. This could be the open door to that. So if you're really hoping for change, you're really hoping that something in this current wild west NIL environment and transfer portal environment is going to change for the better, I think what most people would feel like for the better, some sort of like guardrails, your hope is going to be that the College Sports Commission does something here. There was a Ross Dellinger tweet, by the way, too, that said, well, LSU was not football related, that there was a Big 12 school and a Big 10 school, at least, that had also been contacted by the College Sports Commission. So, people hear Big 12 school, I'm sure most would gravitate toward Texas Tech. That's one of the schools that has purposely not signed the piece of what the whole Power 4 entity was trying to get schools to sign, which would sign away your right to sue the College Sports Commission. So Texas Tech's a school you could definitely see doing that, right? They seem like they would be pretty willing to fight for what they have right now. So that's my read on the situation. I'm not saying that Dabo is in the wrong for doing this. I get why he would be frustrated. He's got a point. All this is crazy right now. We've seen multiple players now taking classes, working out with a current team, and then still entering the portal and going somewhere else. It happened with Salise Moa at Utah before flipping to Michigan. Moa was on campus at Utah taking classes and then still did a ceremony to announce he was going to Michigan afterward. Like, it's ridiculous, the situation we're in, the position that we're in right now. But I would say the coaches that are going to succeed are the ones that I don't think waste a lot of time complaining about this, even as messed up as it is. I think the coaches that put their head down and just go to work and deal with it and do what they've got to do are the ones that are going to succeed in this environment and the ones that we're seeing succeed in this environment. Like, I have not heard Curt Cignetti, for example, spend a lot of time complaining about the current system and the way it is. He just goes and gets to work, gets it done, and wins games. It's an adapt or die mentality right now. But let me know what you think happens next. Does the CSE make an example out of LSU? Will the NCAA come after Ole Miss? And should they? Let me know what you think in the comments. Please do subscribe to the channel. It would help a lot if you gave me a sub right now as I get this channel up and going. And if you want the bigger picture on what the SEC has to do to jump the Big Ten again as the best conference in college football, watch this video right now.